Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to Soul Love. I'm Mafalda, and this is a channel about the twin flame phenomenon. And I have been talking a little bit about the energetics of the journey, the transmutation and alchemical part of the journey. And today I want to dive into why separation really happens, what its purpose is, and how it tends to play out between twins. So, separation, as you probably already know, happens upon soul recognition, upon the activation of the push pull dynamic, which is the repelling aspect of the magnetic connection between twins. So, when twins repel each other, they are essentially one is trying to get closer, whereas the other one is trying to push away. And so that's why they can't come in together. Whereas when they have cycles of attraction, they magnetize each other in. And so upon soul recognition, it is typical for twins to go into separation. And in fact, it tends to happen more than once. But there are a few different ways how this can play out. It really does depend. Each journey truly is unique and individual. And so you may go through much longer, years-long separations, or even go through periods of having the twin in and out of your life. So going through a few separations. However, it's not full on no contact, for example. And that will also depend on which wave of twins you are a part of. So the waves of twins that awakened earlier, so perhaps 20, 25 years ago, tended to have much longer separations with much deeper no contact when compared to those waves of twins that have awakened in more recent years that tend to have perhaps a bit more of communication. But then again, that can also depend as well on whether you are a split soul or a monadic twin, because with monadic twins, the push-pull dynamic is not as strong because they are whole souls within this time-space matrix even before they meet. So that craving to be with the other is not as strong. And so they tend to exhibit less of this push-pull or runner-chaser dynamic than split souls do. So that might be another reason why the type of separation or the type of cycles of separation may differ depending on, yes, what type of twin you are. So on some of these factors that I just discussed. And so going back to the original question, why does this happen between twins? Why does this occur? And the truth is that because twins share the same exact core soul frequency, whether you are a split soul or you are a monadic, because wherever or at whichever level of reality, whichever dimension you are one, you are always one at the higher levels of dimensions. So monadics tend to have come in more or less around the 13th dimension and then split, as opposed to split souls that split within this sub universe. So this universe that we are living in, this time-space matrix. And so regardless, you're always one at higher levels. And so you share the exact same core soul frequency, which means that you are perfect mirrors for each other. that also means that you will trigger each other a lot. And the triggers will be exactly in those points, exactly those exact polar opposite, because remember, you're locked into a certain polarity within this dynamic. And especially if you are a monadic twin, then you are phase locked in, perhaps not so much with split souls. And we can talk about that in another video if you are curious about that, but you are phase locked in. And so it's the exact polar opposite. So the triggers are going to be exact, and that's really, really intense. So what that means is that twins must really separate to do the great majority of the inner work, the alchemical transmutation work, and also the clearing, the purification, the alignment with soul, also working with any spiritual gifts that are activated, coming into your highest potential. That is work that is done in separation, because it would just be too intense for the two of you to be physically in the same space. The triggers are just too strong, truly. And that is why this happens. That's why you repel. You need to repel to be able to clear out what's in the way, or else you're just coming up against the same triggers. And trust me, whilst you're in separation, your twin is still guiding you. And even if you are the leading twin, the one that is awakened to the connection, your divine masculine or your divine counterpart, irrespective of which polarity they take in your unique connection, in your specific connection, is still guiding you, because they are showing you, they are reflecting the places that you had not been able to look into within your own psyche, within your own energetic field. They are that perfect reflection. They are that perfect mirror. And so that mirror is taking place even when you are in separation, and that'll happen in the 5D. It'll happen through synchronicities. It happens merely through the fact that they are not reaching out. Let's say that would be a mirror of you not showing up for yourself, for example. So they are still guiding you through this process. It's not true that twins abandon each other. And so separation exists precisely so that we can do that inner work, so that we can come into inner union to truly realize from within that we have always been one, that there was never any separation whatsoever. We're just having this experience because our souls intended, our souls or our soul intended us to have this experience to help us grow, but also, especially if you are a monadic, to assist on Earth. It was a calling, an intergalactic calling to come to Earth and serve in this way. And yes, okay, you might have picked up a lot of distortion. You may have become trapped. That's one of the themes that happens between monadics, but your soul is still orchestrating this journey for you to rise beyond all of that. And that is what separation is. That's what it is. So it ends up truly being a blessing and a gift that allows us that space and that time to work through all the lower, denser energies, to do all the core wound work, doing the healing work, the energetic balancing, doing the clearing, doing the ego work, allowing the ego to dismantle, really doing shadow work, allowing ourselves to see all the spots that our counterpart is mirroring back to us. Because a lot of the time, the conscious twin, the one that runs towards, that's chasing, that's grasping, that's clinging onto, does not see themselves in certain ways. We like to blame them for running away, for bolting, for avoiding, for treating us this way, for rejecting us, for betraying us, for abandoning us. And that, a lot of the time, keeps us from seeing what separation is trying to show us. All the places where we've done that to ourselves, where we've allowed that in our lives, and it's asking us to step into our sovereign power, our divine power, knowing that we don't need another body or even another being or another soul to complete us. That's the calling. That's why separation is there. And so it is designed in this way. And I know it can be really tough and really painful, because that pain of separation, that longing of not being able to be together as one with your counterpart in the 3D is akin. It's not even akin. It is agony. It is despair. So I do feel so much compassion for you. And of course, I have felt it myself. But that's precisely the level of pain that will trigger us into realizing that there was no separation at all. So separation, physical separation, happens to teach us that we are not separate, to teach us that we are whole within, to teach us that we are divine, sovereign beings that depend on nothing or nobody outside of ourselves to come into our highest timeline and our highest calling, and to create the most beautiful, abundant life for ourselves, to self-actualize, and even to ascend. And how beautiful is that? So challenging, so tough, but at the same time, so beautiful that we get to learn these lessons in this way. We learn to come into unconditional love with another, with a divine partner, a divine counterpart that holds all the codes for the upgrade of our DNA, our ascension, and to literally be able to anchor those higher dimensions here on Earth. And in the case of monadics, exit and leave the Earth, the karmic cycle, the cycle of samsara here, if that is your call, if that is in your soul's blueprint and in your highest timeline, leaving out of the eighth dimension and ascending back into the higher dimensions. So this is pretty cosmic stuff and out there. I hope this video helped you, especially if you are in separation. And I do want to finish off by saying, yes, it is, of course, normal if you have reunions, and that is when your twin comes back in. And sometimes it's not to stay. So they'll come in and trigger more, and they'll reveal to you more of the spots that you still need to work on and what still needs to be alchemized. And so most twins go through a few of those cycles until there comes a point, and that's usually the last separation, where you don't need your twin to come in to trigger you anymore. You really are seeing all that you need to alchemize, and that's a massive part of what the divine feminine and what the awakened, conscious, more spiritual twin is here to do, is to work in those higher three chakras. So open their third eye and see. And when you're in that energy, you no longer need your twin to come and show you all those blind spots, all those subconscious patterns and wounds and fears that are keeping you separate in the 3D. So you no longer need that. And that tends to be a deeper separation, where you are already truly focused on yourself, coming into your soul's purpose, radiating your life, your light, and ultimately not really bothered if they're going to come back in. And I know this may sound hard to believe, but it is true. Trust me. At some point, you are so balanced and you feel so at peace and in union with your higher self, in union with source energy, in union with God, and so trusting of the mission that you came to accomplish, that you are at peace. No matter what your twin does, no matter if there's deadly silence, or if they're coming in. And so that's usually the last separation. Of course, this may look different for different people. So let me know if this video resonated with you in the comments, and do like and subscribe if you're enjoying this content. It'll just help me get the message across to more twins. And there are so many twins awakening right now that it is actually important that we spread the word and spread the truth as much as possible about this journey. The more twins come into union, the more twins come into inner union and accomplish the mission, the faster, and I think even the more smoothly we will transition into this new earth. It is done already, but it is exciting to be a part of it and to be of service. And there is also a lot of destruction and falling away of the distortion that needs to happen and that is happening. And so the more twins come together and the more twins come into inner union and are called into mission, the better, so that we can help the collective, help humanity shift and get through these tough times. That's why we've been called, and that's why so many of us have been prepared for this for the last decades or plus. All right, like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you do need specific help and support on the journey, whether that's through guidance, coaching, guiding you through this transformation, because the twin flame journey really is a transformation. It's an activation. So if you need guidance and support to get through that and to help you navigate as you're going through these activations, going through these initiations, if you're gaining access to Akashic records, if you're clearing karmic cycles, if you need help with energetic balancing as well, subconscious repatterning, I do all kinds of work that can really, really be helpful for you. And I offer a free discovery call so that we can best see how I can support you. If you need that, my details are below. You can book directly through my website or the bookings page that is also down there. So I wish you a lovely, lovely day. I hope this video helped you and gave you some more clarity and insight on the twin flame journey. I will see you very, very soon. Thank you for watching.